Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself.
This has got to be the creepiest thing I've heard in a hot minute. Now, I'm sure many of you know who Pokimane is, or at least have heard of her. If you don't, she's one of the most popular Twitch streamers out there who streams herself playing games and chatting. And recently, she told a story on one of her streams of why she had to fire her editor a couple years back. You know, which doesn't sound very significant. That's kind of random until you hear the reason this editor was fired. Poki reveals ex-editor had to be fired for weeks late videos due to inappropriate addiction to her content. Yes, that inappropriate addiction is exactly what you think it is. Her editor was beating his meat, tugging his worm, choking the chicken to his employer on the job. Now, without further ado, I've said too much. Let's take a look at the story.
Guys, this is reminding me of like a crazy story. I'm really considering telling you. Because I thought of it, because when I was reading this and the message was actually nice, I was like, why do I feel bad? Like, I actually want to forgive this person. And I think that's a me problem. So here's my story. Many, many years ago, when I was like super omega active on YouTube and I was working with a lot of different editors, there was one editor in particular that I would work with a lot because his edits were really, really good. But he had one major problem, which was that sometimes out of nowhere, his videos would just be like a week or two late. And when you're trying to upload consistently, and when that's really important for the algorithm, it's kind of a problem.
So hold up now, knowing what we already know, I have questions, because 2 weeks is a long time to be late with work. And I can understand missing your deadlines every now and then. Everybody gets overwhelmed sometimes. You know, people have other things going on in life. But this guy was regularly being late for weeks at a time, which begs the question, how much was this dude jacking off to her content? Like, was this guy going on weeks-long gooning benders, just beating his shit to the videos he had to edit? How is that even possible? 2 weeks is a long-ass time to take to edit a video. Like, this dude must have been in pain from touching his worm nonstop. This is nuts.
And for the algorithm, it's kind of a problem. But his edits were fucking heat. So I was just like, I don't know. I was like trying to make it work with him, and I would ask him like, is there anything that I can help with? Anything that I can do to kind of like make it easier to be on time? And like, you're welcome to tell me if you're going to be a bit slower with the upload so that maybe we can work around it, blah, 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 blah. Months go by and he messages me out of the blue and he says, hey, do you have time to talk? I'm ready to finally tell you why I've been struggling so much with deadlines. And I said, oh, like, great. Hopefully this is something that we can fix. Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself.
Why you would even admit to this in the first place is beyond me. This is the type of shit you take to the grave. Could you imagine calling up your employer and admitting that you've been addicted to jerking off to them? Like, what could you possibly achieve by doing that? Now, I don't think anything like that would happen in real life, but when it comes to these streamers interacting with people online, hiring people online to edit videos for them that are potentially fans, this doesn't sound far-fetched at all, especially when you consider the sheer amount of down-bad, porn-brained simps that genuinely worship these streamers and watch them for hours on end. I don't know what this editor thought was going to happen by telling her this. Maybe it was some kind of fantasy he was trying to live out. But with that said, I gotta wonder what it was about Pokimane's content that enticed him into these weeks-long meat-beating benders. Because to my knowledge, Pokimane is just like a normal gaming streamer. You know, these aren't some hot tub, bikini, almost naked Amaranth type streams we're talking about here. It's just her sitting at her chair for the most part. I don't know, was this guy just skimming through hours of footage trying to find the best parts? Like, what's going on here? Maybe he thought admitting this would flatter her and this would be the start of a romance, who knows? I honestly wouldn't put it past one of these delusional Pokimane Amaranth gooners to think that they might have a chance by admitting this shit.
Touching himself? I was trying to pick which word to use. To me, his, in a way, employer of many, many months. When I tell you I've never halted a conversation so fast, because I'm like, you're the person that I send like hours of footage to. I don't want to know what you're jacking it to. I don't want to know more. I shouldn't even know how much I know right now. I shouldn't know. But I felt so bad. And I have firsthand experience kind of seeing how much, ew, don't, where's that sentence going? I have firsthand experience seeing other people struggle with addiction. So firsthand, shut up. I mean, like I've seen people that I've even lived with struggle with addiction. So when he's like, you know, like this is like an addiction of mine, I genuinely felt really, really bad. So I still paid him for months. Just because I didn't want to be the reason that he like didn't have enough money. I don't know, you know?
This is the part where I just completely disagree with everything she did here. I don't know if she's saying this to make herself look better and look noble, but there is no scenario where you should keep paying your employee who is addicted to jacking off to you. Addiction or no addiction, you shouldn't hesitate to cut someone off just because you're feeling bad for them. Especially if this person has hours worth of footage they've been skimming through trying to find the good parts to jerk off to. But on a serious note, as bad as addiction is, whether it's beating off or other things, there's a fine line between feeling bad for someone and then just straight up enabling them. In this case, continuing to pay this editor. Let this be the lesson of today's video. You're not responsible for anyone. Cut them off, if need be.
Didn't want to be the reason that he like didn't have enough money. I don't know, you know? Was it extremely inappropriate of him to tell me? Yeah. I also didn't tell anyone for years, and then years later, I told my manager, and she's she looks at me like this. She's like, bitch, the fuck? I was like, yeah, I was too shy to tell anyone. Yeah, it was a little kooky beans. It was a little kooky beans. But like, there is no guidebook on what to do in a situation like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if that needs a guidebook. If someone's missing deadlines by weeks because they're too addicted to jacking off to you nonstop, the right call might be to just fire them. Immediately. Not exactly a difficult call to make there that needs a guidebook. But yeah, biggest Gooner award of 2024 officially goes to this guy. I mean, this is almost like a simp's fantasy come true. He got to be her editor and get hours of exclusive footage, but he blew it. Literally and figuratively. And you know, I still had a shred of doubt that maybe this could have been made up, but then I went over to Pokimane's Twitter and her tweet replies took me right back to reality pretty quickly. I feel so lucky to see you in my poor life. Every time I see you, I remember how lucky I am to know someone as beautiful as you. You light up any room you walk into. Your beauty is truly something special. Stay blessed. Drown my fucking face with your gruel. I want to drink it in the morning. Happy birthday to my glorious queen, my Pokebear, my goat, mother. You
are the person that I send like hours of footage did too.
But anyways, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more juicy videos coming soon to the channel. And let me know what your thoughts are on this sticky situation. What would you do if your employee admitted to this? What should happen to Pokimane Sims? Let me know. Leave a comment. Peace.